Hi guys, so today I thought I would walk you through my budget system for the year 2018. I get a lot of questions about what apps I use, etc., etc., etc. And so I'm just going to lay out everything right now. So basically you guys see that I sit down with my husband at the end of that current month to do the next month's budget. And so we do that on EveryDollar, but it's kind of preliminary, so we don't go back and tweak things until, that month officially starts. And so today is January the 2nd, so I've gone ahead and tweaked some things. It doesn't look much different from when you guys saw it last, but that is what we do on EveryDollar. And it is so easy to use EveryDollar. We do use the free version. Because it says free right here, but if you've never seen EveryDollar, you wouldn't know that I'm using the free version. So I do use the free version. You don't have to link your account, anything like that. So the main reason why we use EveryDollar, or the main reason why I like it, is because it does the math for you. I'm obviously not that great with math. I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed. You put in your income, you put in your expenses. It tells you if you're over budget, if you have money left to budget. Doing an EveryDollar budget on here is super easy. So that is why we use EveryDollar. For the most part, I budget in all of these different planners and whatnot. So now we are going to hop off here and we're going to go dive into some of those planners. So after the budget meeting, I can go ahead and start getting started in my budget planner. But for the most part, I can't finalize things until January the 1st. Of course, the one thing that never gets finalized is the electricity bill. I don't really know when it's due, nor do I know what the payment is going to be until like the 2nd of the month. So then I go through and, go back and put that on there. And I've shared this with you guys before, but for the weekly, I'm going to be tracking our weekly expenses. That's pretty much bills, of course, groceries, restaurants, gas, and allowance. Those things typically take place on a weekly basis. So we're supposed to, if we go to restaurants, it's supposed to be once a week, which I feel like we should be able to stick to that this year. And then we get gas on a weekly basis and typically allowance. But of course, I'm forfeiting my allowance this month because I'm going to the Bahamas. But up here, I'll track paydays. I'll track bills. I'm also going to be tracking the starting balance for the week as well. So that's going to be up here. I've added some chores that I'll probably not do. I put a little shopping list. I just needed a few items this week. I've already gone to get those. So I just put those in here so I wouldn't forget. I do have a habit tracker down here, so a no-spend tracker. And typically when I track no-spend days, it's really for me. So my no-spend really has nothing to do with my husband. It's just for me. And it's just something that I feel like I need to do. He's never had a spending problem. I'm the one who has a spending problem, or I once had one. So that's the whole deal with that. So whenever you see no spend days, that means that I have not spent. So I'm tracking my no spend days. So that's what we have there. And of course, like I said, we've for this one, I've shared this with you guys already. It's going to be everything outside of our weekly expenses. So any miscellaneous expenses, anything like that is going to be tracked here. So this is what I use my budget planner for, and this is typically what takes place after the budget meeting or after January the 1st. So we also have the Fudget app, and this is like a running total of all of our expenses. So for example, my husband has to go to the dentist today. Currently to our name, we have $206.18. When he goes, I'll put 15 here if it's 15. And then that will bring our balance down $15 to $191.18. And so every time I have an expense, as soon as it takes place, I'll put it in here so I know the running amount of money that we have. I then will get to my budget planner whenever I get to it. Typically I try to look at it like every day just to see what bills we have coming up, see if I need to pick up anything from the store, etc., etc. But for the most part, this is like an everyday kind of thing, daily basis, so I know how much money I have at all times, or how much money we have at all times. The budget planner, the expense tracker in there, I kind of get to it when I get to it every couple of days possibly. And then for EveryDollar, now EveryDollar is something that I get to when I get to. So normally I don't add expenses in there until literally, it could be a week has passed. So I just want you guys to understand that I use Fudget. That is the app that I use at all times. the budget planner, I track expenses in there pretty much whenever I get a chance. If I sit down at my desk at the end of the day and I remember that I need to go ahead and put those expenses in there, I'll do that. But for the most part, it's the Fudget app that I'm using on a regular basis. And then this thing here, people want to know how I incorporate this. Well, I mean, not any real way. Again, if I have a receipt, if I'm out and about and I have a receipt, I'll just put this in here. And then I'll make sure to pull this out again at the end of the day or the next couple of days. The way that I do this, I'm sharing this with you guys because you guys have asked. But just know, like this was my Dollar Tree one from earlier. Just know that what I'm doing may not work for you. I mean, at this point, I'm using 2 apps and a budget planner to track our expenses and to stay on top of things. It has been working for us for sure. I could totally probably cut out one or probably one of those. If I cut out any of those, it would be EveryDollar, honestly. I think I would always have the Fudget app because I like having it with me. Now, I can track expenses on EveryDollar, but on EveryDollar, it won't tell me how much money I have left. On Fudget, I can add in our income as it comes in, which then it will update the amount of money that we have. I can do our expenses, which it will update the money that we have available to us. EveryDollar doesn't do that. So EveryDollar is really great for setting up your budget and then like checking in with your budget. So I think I'm going to be using EveryDollar even less. I'll probably just use it whenever I'm doing that mid-month check-in. I'll probably go on there and add in all of the expenses that we have, which I'm hopefully aren't a lot outside of bills. But I'm probably going to be using EveryDollar even less frequently than what I was. But anyway, this is the budget system that I have. I highly recommend Fudget if you want to know how much money you have at all times. If you don't want to know, then you won't need the EveryDollar app by any means. I mean the Fudget app. But if you don't want to know or you're not really interested in that, then the Fudget app isn't going to do much for you. But honestly, if I had to get rid of one, it would for sure be EveryDollar. If I had to get rid of 2, it would probably be EveryDollar and Fudget. But I highly recommend Fudget. But anyway, that is just our full system and what I do on a regular basis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.